Okay, so you know how sometimes you just want to get right to the point?
Uh-huh.
You don't want all the fluff,
Yeah.
just the facts.
Right.
Well, today we're taking a deep dive into some pretty interesting search terms that are trending.
Okay.
It's all centered around NCAA women's March Madness.
Wow.
So we see people searching for schedules and brackets,
Hmm.
all kinds of bracket stuff like printable brackets and
Yeah.
and rankings for the teams.
Okay.
Basically a whole lot of buzz around the tournament.
That's great.
So our goal today is to really figure out, what's driving all this interest.
Interesting.
What are these people really looking for?
Yeah, I think what really stands out to me is that it's more than just like passively looking for information.
Right.
It seems like people really want to be involved,
Yeah.
really engage with the whole event.
Absolutely. So let's start with the basics.
Okay.
It seems like women's March Madness and NCAA women's basketball tournament
Mm.
are basically the same thing, right? It's that big championship that happens every year in women's college basketball.
Right. The biggest one of the year.
And then, like you mentioned, there's a ton of interest in the brackets.
Oh, yeah.
We're seeing searches for NCAA women's bracket, printable bracket, even stuff about the 2025 bracket.
Yeah. They're planning ahead.
It's not just about watching the games. People want to fill those brackets out.
They want to get involved.
Yeah, it's like a whole ritual, right?
Oh, absolutely.
This whole thing about bracketology, like trying to predict who's going to win and filling out your bracket,
Yeah.
it's a huge part of March Madness.
It is.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think part of it is that anyone can do it.
Right.
You don't need to be like a basketball expert.
Yeah,
Anyone can fill out a bracket and have a chance to win.
exactly.
And then you've got all these office pools and groups of friends doing it together.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it more fun.
It's like friendly competition.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it gives people a reason to be invested in more games,
It does.
not just their favorite team.
You got it.
So each game becomes like his own little story,
Right.
all part of the bigger tournament.
Exactly. And you know what else we're seeing?
What's that?
A lot of searches about the schedule,
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
like March Madness women's schedule and Women's March Madness 2025.
So people are planning ahead,
Oh, yeah, big time.
making sure they can watch all the games.
They got to follow their brackets.
Right. Got to see if their picks are winning.
Uh-huh. And it's not surprising then that we're also seeing searches for rankings,
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
like NCAA women's basketball rankings and women's NCAA basketball rankings.
You got to know who the top teams are.
Exactly. You got to do your research.
Right, if you want to fill out a good bracket.
You can't just guess. It's not just luck.
Nope. Got to have some strategy.
But it's interesting that we're also seeing searches that are more general,
Oh, yeah, like what?
like women's college basketball or just women's basketball.
Right.
So it's not just about March Madness. I think that's important.
Yeah.
It shows there's a genuine interest in the sport itself.
Yeah, and March Madness is like the big finale.
It's the culmination of the whole season.
like the Super Bowl.
Uh-huh. But it's built on the foundation of all the games that came before it.
Exactly. So putting it all together,
Okay.
it's clear that people are really into women's March Madness.
Yeah.
And they're not just watching.
Yeah.
They're really participating,
Filling out brackets.
checking schedules, tracking the top teams.
Yeah, it's the whole experience.
Exactly. So if you're trying to wrap your head around women's March Madness, here's the deal.
Right.
It's the championship tournament for women's college basketball.
Right, the big one.
And all the online activity shows that people are super engaged.
Totally.
They're not just passive viewers.
Right, they're actively involved.
They want to be part of the action.
And you know what? That brings up a really interesting question.
What's that?
What is it about this combination of sport and prediction and community that makes it so appealing?
Right.
It's more than just being a fan.
Uh-huh.
It's about being a participant.
Right. Like you're part of the story.
Exactly. Something to think about as the tournament gets closer.
Definitely food for thought.
It is.
Well, that's our deep dive for today.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.
We'll catch you next time.
Sounds good.
Bye.